they begin with hypothesis. Then they investigate. Then they verify. And then they allow others to verify. So, in this approach, there are two important elements here. One is systematic. You investigate it very systematically. Number two is objectivity, objective. You can do it, others also can do it. If everybody is agreeable to that, then only you accept that as true. So these group of people become the so-called scientists. The problem only arises when the so-called unknown that we are dealing with can be unknown in the natural world, can be unknown of our human life. The unknown of the natural world can be exploited by scientists or science without much problem. The problem is the unknown of our human beings. The very challenging unknown is what happened to us after we die. We don't know. And the other unknown is how we come about. We also don't know. So this unknown and the nature of the interface. And this interface that science and religion both come in, and fiction in history, they started fighting and all things. So much so Sigmund Freud said humanity has been injured 3 times by science. He was of course referring to Copernicus, Galileo and Darwinian theory. And in fact Sigmund Freud said religion is just a comforting illusion. Comforting illusion sustained by our impulses beyond our human intellect. So this is how religion and science are researched in the dealing with the unknown. Now what is the position of Buddhism here? Buddhism, first I must tell you, do not place the emphasis on exploring the external world, exploring the nature. Buddhism's emphasis is on the human life. So Buddhism tries to explore the unknown of what happened after death and how come we come about. But in dealing with these two questions, Buddhism does not go and investigate what will happen. Neither does it go back and find out what happened. Buddhism look at what happened now. Buddhism deals with the present human life. And therefore, this has given some advantage to Buddhism, because Buddhism is not going to speculate about, tell stories about the nature of the universe. It doesn't have to. There were a lot of stories already told, so the Buddha just conveniently borrowed some of them whenever necessary and tell the people. But the Buddha's emphasis was, what do we know about our life? What do we know about our human beings? The greed, the hatred, the delusion that we earn, and how do we improve ourselves, promote ourselves to the level where we can finally see the answer. So the Buddhist approach is not to go there and see the answer, but to improve ourselves so that eventually we will see the answer. So we don't have to look for a prefabricated answer or a ready-made answer. The answer is to be searched by our own self. And therefore, in this approach, the Buddhism also, the approach by Buddhism is also pretty scientific, so to say. But I must say, first, Buddhism also begins with faith. In Buddhism, we call Sangha. You must have some confidence in what you are doing. Okay? But faith is not the most important. It's really the beginning. In Buddhism, what is more important now is wisdom. Just now I mentioned to you those words like systematic, rational, objectivity in science, or faith and mixed religion. Now in Buddhism we talk about wisdom. In Buddhism we believe that when you have wisdom, then you will be able to see the answer for yourself. Therefore the approach in Buddhism, when we talk about wisdom, you do not go straight to wisdom. Wisdom can only come if you have a good moral and ethical foundation. Therefore, it begins with sila, samadhi, panya, or morality, concentration, and then wisdom. So this practice of sila, samadhi, panya is very much similar to the scientific approach. Because whatever taught by the Buddha and practiced by the Buddha practiced by the Buddhists, the experience actually can be experienced by another person. So that's why we say it is objective. And for that matter, that's why Einstein himself, although not a Buddhist, he says the religion of the future shall be a cosmic religion and transcending all the dogma. And if there is a religion that can meet with the future scientific needs, there would be Buddhism. That's what Einstein says about Buddhism. Now the Buddhist approach to knowledge, and I think this is the most important. You can talk about the result of science or what is written in the holy text, but what is most important is the philosophy of it, is the approach to knowledge in religion or the approach to knowledge in Buddhism, the approach to knowledge in science. Are there similarities? And I think there are similarities. When in science it is so much stress that you need objectivity and you need to be scientific and you need to be systematic. In Buddhism it is also mentioned, and the Buddha mentioned very clearly in the Kakula Sutta, when there was a group of people in a village, and they came to the Buddha. The Buddha passed by the village, and the people of that village told the Buddha, so many groups of gurus have passed by here, and every one of them saying my teaching is the best. So we are now really confused. Then they asked the Buddha, now what shall we believe? And the Buddha gave this answer. It is proper that you doubt, that you have perplexity. For a doubt has arisen in a matter which is doubtful. Now look, Kalama. Do not be led by report or tradition or hearsay. Do not be led by authority of religious text, not by mere logic or inference, nor by considering appearances, nor by the delight in speculative opinion, nor by seeming possibility, nor by the idea that this is our teacher. But O Kalama, when you know for yourself that certain things are unwholesome and wrong and bad, then you give them up. And when you know for yourself that certain things are wholesome and good, then accept them and follow them. So this is the charter of free inquiry. The Buddha says don't accept things just simply because some people tell you, or you heard it, or you think that you out of respect for our teacher. But of course when you answer your exam questions, always respect your teacher's opinion. And then the Buddha even says not to be led by the authority of religious text. So the Buddha gives the full freedom to us, which in the modern context it means to say, take no one's word for it. You are the real authority. You are the one who will be the real authority. You don't have to depend on any other authority. So this is the Buddha's approach. So the book I have mentioned to you just now, the Siddha Samanipanya, another way of looking at it, the Buddhist approach to knowledge can also be looked at it from another way. We call it the Pariyatti Patipatti Pativeda, meaning to say Pariyatti Patipatti Pativeda. Let me think of that English equivalent. Learn, practice, and realize. Okay? So to get knowledge, first you must learn. Then, after that, that knowledge must be put into use, practice. And after practice, when you experience it for yourself, when you realize it for yourself, that thing, and you verify it for yourself, then only you accept that as knowledge. Okay? This is mentioned in the Buddhist text. And in fact, the Dharma or the Buddha's teaching, one of the virtues mentioned in the Buddha's teaching is Edipasiko, meaning to say, come and see. The Buddha always invite one to come and investigate, come and understand, come and study. The Buddha did not say come and believe. In fact, the Buddha said, my word for it. Test my teaching like testing gold in fire. Test my teaching like testing gold in fire. Now, having said all these things, now I would like to stress one thing here. Now, I want to talk about now the relationship between Buddhism and science. I think all of us in the modern day, all of us embrace science and technology. Without science, there is no present-day technology like this microphone, like cars, motorbike. So every one of us, like it or not, we all embrace the result of science and technology. And in fact, the impact of science and technology is so much that now some of us begin to worship science and technology. We think that science is the yardstick. So sometimes we like to use science to support our scripture. I don't have to do that, because I don't believe that everything we must use science to measure our scripture. To get from scientific discovery and then say whether my text tally or not. Because mind you, science can change. Science has always changed. So it's quite dangerous for you to try to put the two things together. And in fact, science has its own weaknesses, limitations. Science can bring us a lot of human comfort, but science cannot reduce our human anxiety, sadness, and worries. So there are areas of limitations which science cannot tackle. Only religion can offer us a solution. Okay? Another area. Science has got no eyes, doesn't matter. Science is neutral. So people create atomic bombs or create weapons in order to kill human beings more efficiently. And if you are a worshipper of science, and you think that everything science is correct, then you will go for science. But we must check science using religion. That's why I say religion without science is blind. Science without religion and religion without science is science without religion is blind. Religion without science is crippled. So, for the sake of humanity, science and religion must come together. Thank you very much.
Awak tahu boleh tak? Nak tipu ke banyak-banyak lagi. Mengilakan. Kita mula pun dia putih-putih.
Thank you, Mr. Ang. Without further delay, I would like to invite our last speaker, representing Christianity, Dr. Chai Peng.
Islam dulu lah kali tu.
Terima kasih yang mengucapkan Encik Moderator yang bekerja pemangku dan sejahtera pada saudara-saudari semua yang di sana ini. Okey, sains dan teknologi mengikut pandangan agama masing-masing mengikut pandangan Kristian. Itu yang saya yang diberi kepada saya begitu sedikit tanpa teknologi dalam yang dipaparkan tadi seperti melektor Islam. Okay, next please. Now I like to start with this very interesting slide. Kita melihat orang yang dahulu kala tidak tahu banyak tentang sains dan teknologi lah. Dan bila kita melihat apa yang mereka telah membina, macam di sini Stonehenge, you know Stonehenge is the picture of it di England, dengan batu-batu besar yang berdiri, dan kita tak boleh menganggap bagaimana mereka boleh tanpa puli, tanpa mesin-mesin moden, crane atau apa, boleh membina macam itu. Sebenarnya orang dahulu kalau itu bukan bodoh, senang saja buat ini. Dan if you visit the website, you see how one man, seorang saja tanpa menggunakan faith apa-apa boleh membela ini. You go there and you find out today is doing in America. So half people are not stupid. Okay, they are good people. Okay, so okay, let's carry on that introduction. And we still have a very long ago, 2,000 years before, President Obama. Okay, now orang kita percaya bahawa Tuhan telah berjaya dengan akan memberitahu kepada kita tentangnya mengikut dua buku. Buku yang pertama ialah buku alam semula jadi, okay, the Book of Nature. Dan dari perbincangan Mazmur 19 ayat 1 dan 2, ia memberitahu kepada kita betapa terangnya lalu menyatakan kemuliaan Allah, betapa jelas ia menunjukkan perbuatan Tuhan. Hari mengumumkannya kepada hari yang berikut, dan malam pula menggelanginya kepada malam. So, nature keeps on permanent non-stop all the time. Declare the glory of God, is what it says. Okay? Dan buku yang kedua ialah buku Bible atau Alkitab, ialah Taurat Tuhan. Dan dalam ayat-ayat lain dalam Mazmur itu, ia memberikan kepada kita bahawa Taurat Tuhan itu sempurna. Ia memberikan tenaga yang baru. Perintah-perintah Tuhan dapat dipercayai. Mereka memberikan kebijaksanaan kepada orang yang memerlukannya. Hukum-hukum Tuhan itu benar. Orang yang taat kepadanya akan berbahagia. Berita-berita Tuhan itu lurus, memberi pengertian kepada fikiran. So, two books, the book of nature and the book of scripture, informs us about God. Okay, next. Now, ramai orang menganggap bahawa sains moden dan kitab itu mesti bercanggah, sebab yang kitab itu lama, itu ditulis pada masa yang kuno, dan sains itu moden. Tetapi itu bukan yang seperti yang dianggapkan. Okay? So di sini saya ada satu gambar wajah yang cuba menerangkan perhubungan antara sains dan kitab. Okay? So di dalam okay, kalau awak melihat gambar wajah ini, kalau kita menganggap yang dua bulatan di tengah itu, satu mewakili kitab suci dan satu yang lagi sains. Okay, the two of them are separate, tapi ada overlap sedikit di halaman tengah. Dan mereka dikelilingi oleh satu bulatan bujur, okay, which is actually reality. Apa yang kita mengalami, bukan saja pada pandangan saya, bukan saja kita wujud secara fizikal, tetapi juga secara rohani atau spiritual. Dan kedua-dua ini bergabung untuk membina satu realiti yang benar. Okay? Kalau kita mengikut pandangan bahawa hanya apa yang boleh disentuh atau kita dengar atau kita boleh lihat ukur saja yang benar, that is only half the truth. It's not the full reality. Okay? Reality must have spiritual and physical dimension. Okay? Now, kalau kita lihat cara pengetahuan dalam kedua bidang atau dua halaman itu diberitahu kepada kita, caranya berbeza sikit untuk mendapat pengetahuan dan juga mendidik kita dalamnya. Pertama, kitab suci puncanya bukan dari investigasi kita sendiri, tapi wahyu Tuhan. God reveal to us His truth. Okay? Dan punca bagi sains, bagaimana kita boleh dapat tahu tentang sains, is penyiasatan fenomena semula jadi, investigating natural phenomena. Okay? Kalau kita membandingkan tujuan dalam agama ialah panduan moral dan rohani melalui kitabnya. Okay? Tujuan bagi sains dia huraikan dan kajian sistematik fenomena alam semula jadi, dan dia tidak menyentuh isu moral. That's why the staff speaker make this point quite clear. Science is neutral in this sense. Now, the third thing is bahasa yang digunakan. Okay, berbeza. Bagi kitab, bahasa di dalam kitab ialah umum dan tidak terhad kepada sesuatu masa. Well, bagi sains, dia khusus. You know, you go and see a doctor or see a mechanic, you use terms you don't normally understand. Khusus dan terhad kepada sesuatu masa. So the last speaker also point out, science keeps changing and the language keeps changing. Okay, next week. So bahasa Alkitab dan bahasa sains, bahasa yang terdapat dalam kitab berciri umum, so it's very general language, tidak diikat pada masa tertentu, it's not fixed in time. Ia tidak menghiraukan ketepatan sains untuk a science textbook, okay? Sebab tujuannya ialah memberitahu kepada kita manusia secara ringkas asal usulnya dan tujuan Allah mencipta alam semesta dan manusia. Kisah kejadian, the first book of the Bible, Genesis, kejadian, dalam Alkitab bukan tulisan saintifik tetapi tulisan yang senang dipahami oleh orang dahulu kala, manusia sekarang dan juga manusia yang akan datang. Timeless language, okay? Well, sains menggunakan bahasa khas yang selalu bertukar mengikut kemajuan sains dari masa ke semasa. Dan sebab itu, sains yang dianggap terbaru sekarang, next day when there's new discovery, it is full of science, diganti oleh sains yang lebih maju, lebih baru, okay? So jika kisah kejadian ditulis dalam bahasa sains pada masa dahulu, ia tidak boleh dipahami if say Genesis was written in the scientific language of today, you know, in terms of Big Bang and so on, all that, nobody at that time will understand. Atau kalau kita menulis dia semula dalam bahasa sekarang, next day the science will change, the language will change, and the people will say, oh, you're so outdated, you know? Okay? So, sebab itu is the best way actually for God to communicate with us in a timeless story. Okay? Story form. Not necessarily that it's a myth, but story form. What is our origin? What is the purpose? Where are we heading? What do we do with the big mess that we are in now? Okay? Next week. Itu tujuan kita panduan moral dan rohani dengan memperkenalkan manusia kepada Tuhan. That's the whole aim of the Bible. Mewahyukan kepada kita tentang penciptaan alam semesta dan manusia oleh Tuhan Maha Kuasa, menerangkan asal usul dosa manusia dan akibat buruknya. Explain why we are such a big man today. Why are we selfish? Why do we, when we want to do good, we do evil? You know, how all this dosa come about dan mengawal kita. Dan ketiga, memberitahu kepada kita apa yang dilakukan oleh Tuhan untuk membantu manusia yang berdosa, and for the Kristian central to it is melalui apa yang dibuat oleh Yesus Kristus. Okay? Dan menunjukkan jalan balik ke pangkal Tuhan supaya kita boleh membangkitkan semula perhubungan yang erat dengan Tuhan yang berada sebelum Adam dan Hawa terjatuh ke dalam dosa. Okay? Dan yang kelima, memandu manusia yang telah bertaubat dan dilahir semula, born again. Orang Kristian percaya bila mereka menerima Yesus sebagai penyelamat mereka dilahir semula secara rohani dan mereka bermula kehidupan yang baru. Okay? So this is the purpose of the Christian scriptures. Okay, next please. Now, satu perbincangan yang hebat sekarang is manusia dievolusikan, okay, diciptakan oleh Tuhan. It's a major controversy which is raging in the scientific as well as religious theological cycle today. Okay, Alkitab memberitahu kepada kita bahawa ada mula pertama ketika Allah mencipta alam. Right in the first verse it says, in the beginning God created. Okay? Now, sains sekular memberitahu kepada kita bahawa semuanya berasal daripada satu siri kemalangan bernasib baik, a series of lucky accident, okay, yang menghasilkan kewujudan alam semesta dan seluruhnya yang terkandung dalamnya. And life was from non-life, evolved from non-life, complex life from simple life. That's what evolution tells us. Okay? Adakah bukti evolusi telah sebenarnya berlaku? Kalau tarikh evolusi sebagai perubahan-perubahan yang berlaku kepada ciri-ciri organisma melalui masa, sebab mereka selalu bertindak dengan alam fizikal dan biologikal, microevolusi, that one is memang benar. I teach the course on evolution. I'm the fossil expert in this university. Okay? Tetapi itu jauh sangat daripada mendapat hidup yang hidup daripada yang tak hidup, dan tukar yang muda kepada yang kompleks, that macroevolution, everything, you know, from simple life to complex life, tidak dapat dibuktikan. Up to now, we have not conclusively proved that. It's not a fact, it's a theory. Okay? Dengan penuh yakin pada masa ini, dan mungkin tidak boleh ditentukan, melainkan kita ada time machine to go back and see how it actually all happened. But it's all just deduction saja, and it will be wrong. Okay? And I think, personally, ia memerlukan lebih iman, more faith, okay, untuk mempercayai bahawa alam semesta dan kehidupan yang begitu indah dan kompleks itu berasal dari satu siri kemalangan buta tuli, okay, random accident, dari mempercayakan mereka dicipta oleh